So we found a guest who actually will help us understand what self-control is and really the myth of self-control. She's the author of Fine-Tuning, Connecting with Your Inner Power, Jane Bernard. Welcome, and what is the myth, Jane, of self-control?
Good morning.
Good morning to you.
Thank you. The myth of self-control is that when we impose ideas or rules on ourselves that don't feel right, we rebel intuitively. And so usually self-control the real self-control is when you connect with your dignity, because self-control and self-discipline are really like a handrail to use. When you walk up the steps, you use the handrail so you don't fall. Real self-control isn't about beating yourself up. It's about using your inner dignity. It's like connecting with patience. It's connecting with what really matters in your life and using the courage and holding onto that handrail so that you walk up the steps without slipping.
Well, you know, Jane, I know I have a caller out there by the name of Jimmy. He's probably listening.
Mm-hmm.
Other guys, and even myself, we're like hearing you say that about dignity, and we go, but it's not 1955. This is a world without dignity. This is a world where we take every disgusting bit of human behavior, from the presidents all the way down to bums on the street. This is what we seem to dwell on today. So where do you go if you're this poor woman who married him to find a man with dignity? Why would a man in today's world exhibit dignity when we celebrate people with no dignity and honor them as millionaires and presidents and movie stars and the people we celebrate in society? Haven't we lost this war like a long time ago, or am I missing something?
Well, that is really a powerful bunch of words. And you're not missing anything. You're just not seeing the big picture. The big picture is human nature. The big picture is the fact that people naturally and intuitively want to connect with dignity, because when you feel dignified, you feel good about yourself. People are tired of feeling bad about themselves. They're tired of feeling beaten up. That's why they're getting disgusted with the whole Wienergate thing. What should his wife do? Well, when you feel good about yourself or dignified about yourself, and you're determined to trust that and lean on it, then you're attracted to a man who has the same values you have. It's when you doubt yourself and you demean yourself and you impose other people's rules, then you're not using self-control in an intuitive sense. Then you're using rules imposed by the outside world, and that makes us feel frustrated. I mean, think about dieting, for example.
Right.
Dieting makes people feel defenseless and powerless, and that frustration makes us feel tense. And when we're feeling tense, we can't relax, and that's why there's so much stress.
Okay.
So when you're frustrated, one thing that frustrates us is that we're not connected with our dignity.
Mm-hmm.
We're not connected with that handrail to use to walk up the steps of our lives.
But I do want to say, right, when we're young, we are taught there are certain things you must do against your urges, against what you want, against what you feel, because the thing you feel, the urge that you're succumbing to, is disgusting and reprehensible, and you have to tighten up, suck it up, deny yourself the little gratification of the Twitter naked genitals, or the stop off at the porno shop on the way home, or whatever horrible it is. You know what I mean? Isn't that where character enters, where you accept the pain of denial of your urges and you go on to higher behavior, unlike, acting on urges? I don't know.
Well, you know that story of the Emperor's New Clothes, right?
Yeah, but yet,
story of the Emperor's New Clothes is where people are told for character that only a person who's worthy would not see the Emperor walking naked down the street.
Right.
Well, people who buy into things that are false, whether they're taught to from as children or even as adults, are walking around naked.
All right, but what's false here? Is it false that this guy is married and he's got to, not do what he did and that may aggravate him or frustrate him. Put him, my wife is traveling. I'm home alone. I'm a sexual being. I'm a sexual superstar. No, you get to say no to yourself 100 times and stop yourself, and that's the same way other people don't murder their boss.
Missing.
Yeah.
In our, like you said, how all this horrible news about people is all over the press. It still dignifies up. It's because we are not aware of boundaries. Privacy and boundaries are things that create healthy relationships, whether it's with a child and a parent or between two lovers. And this man does not understand boundaries. He's lost track of himself because he's not clear about who he is and what his priorities are. And when you have no dignity and you're not connected with your intuition, you do not know who you are.
Well, now you used a word like boundaries. Now I relate to that. I mean, there are points over which behaviorally we're expecting him not to go. Or isn't it fair now to expect him to resign? Like, dude, you have no character. You're a freaking liar. Like 9 Ways to Sunday. You didn't make one lie. It's a lie every way. It's like a freeway, a Los Angeles freeway of lies. Get out of here. Remove yourself.
Totally
you shun yourself. Pariah yourself. Yeah.
Ed, you're such a character. You are totally right, because the thing that makes people pissed off, nobody really cares that he sent his picture to this woman, but we do care is that he lied. Once you lie, you've crossed the boundary that you can't come back from, and I agree that he should resign.
Well, Jane, you're terrific. Your book is called Fine Tuning, Connecting with Your Inner Power. Also, you're a member of I'd like to join this organization. You're going to have to tell me more about the Association for Conflict Resolution. I don't even know if I wish they would let me in. They're probably going to stop me at the door and say, I'm sorry, sir. You're laden with so much conflict. You're impenetrable. You're going to wreck our society. Get out of here. But you are terrific. And next time we'll talk more about your book and about that conflict resolution group you're with. But bottom line, thank you for sharing about the myth of self-control.
My pleasure, Ed.